Okay, we got 5 or more questions with Tommy Black. We have Eddie Spaghetti from the Supersuckers here. Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
How you doing, Tommy? Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. You're playing here on Friday. It's a 30th anniversary tour, right?
Yeah, we're celebrating 30 years. You guys are celebrating 30 years.
Yeah,
it's all good, right?
I think we're hitting 25, but yeah.
25. Oh, you guys are babies.
You're older than us.
Yeah, we're older than
no,
the
you're
oh
not.
My God.
No, you're not. But I remember over the years seeing your bands a bunch of times here, but in other places too. How many records do you guys have out?
I don't even know myself. Many.
Many.
I have no idea how many songs I've made up. I'm not like a statistician like that. Sort of like a Johnny Ramone was. He would know all that sort of stuff, but
you just do it.
A lot of records. I try to do one every couple of years if I can.
That's awesome. And have you been? I'm a bass player. I like basses. I see that you got the Les Paul bass always. Is that the same bass, or do you have a few of those Les Paul basses, or?
No, that's the same one. It's the only one, and it is the coolest bass in the world.
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't even trade it for Lemmy's bass. And that's taken a lot.
Them's fighting words. Yeah, them's fighting words. I saw 4 Lemmy basses on the bar one time when they played here. It was insane, with a Jack Daniels bass in the case for a bottle of...
Yeah, he had more than one. I only have the one.
Now, what's the story? What year?
Living on the razor's edge.
What's the story of this bass? I'm bass geeking right now. What's the story?
Well, I had this buddy who worked at this music store in Seattle in the early 90s, and he knew I wanted a Les Paul bass.
Yeah.
And this one came into the music store he was working in, and he called me up. He said, I think I got something that you might like. So you should come in here and check it out. And I did, and of course it is something that I like very much.
Yeah.
And he said, I can give it to you for $600, but it won't go through the whole protocol here that it normally go through to get all tuned up and dialed in. I'm like, man, I don't give a shit. I got to have this thing, and it's only going to be $600. I will take it.
Yeah.
And that was in 90, I think it was maybe 94.
Mm-hmm.
Something, and it was brand new when I got a hold of it.
Wow.
Now it just looks like it's been through hell.
Oh, it's so cool. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that bass. I've always noticed that bass.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, cool. And when you were in Seattle, you were signed to Sub Pop for a bit, weren't you?
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. Like early back then, that was like the dream, you know?
Yeah, that was the shit to get involved with. I mean, that was when we moved to Seattle, we thought we were going to be the best band they had ever seen. We had no idea that there was all these great bands already up there, and there was a cool little label to get on, and there was all this, it was super cool to just come up there and see all of this stuff already in place. Like somebody had already thought of all this stuff. It's fucking great. And we got on the label, and our career was kind of born. And I would have to credit Sub Pop with discovering the Supersuckers and pushing them to be what they can be now.
Wow. What was it like being like a Supersuckers type band amongst all that other Seattle stuff going on? You guys stuck out in a good way, right?
Yeah, it was weird because we felt like if we wanted to, we could probably slow down and make some grungy music and maybe make a bigger buck or whatever. But
you just did your thing.
It didn't feel like us. We always felt like we were a little bit of a sore thumb on Sub Pop, but we had the Dwarves there as well.
Yeah.
So we felt a kindred spirit with that sort of vibe. Then they started signing all these sort of lightweight bands like, I don't know, I hate to name names, but I'm gonna. Eric's Trip and, I don't know, there was some really slow band called Come. They started signing all this sort of like esoteric sort of Resonance Direct is what I like, and it, started to harsh our mellow there.
Yeah, they overdid it. They started overdoing it. But you shared sore thumbs with the Dwarves. That's pretty...
Yeah, as long as the Dwarves were there, we were cool. So, I mean, we were super happy as long as the Dwarves were still around.
Yeah. Back to Viper, how many times have you played Viper, do you think? I'm thinking 5 maybe, or more.
Oh, more than 5.
Really?
Maybe it's closer to 10 at least.
Uh-oh.
If it's not 10, it definitely feels like 10. So every one counts like 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we played back there in the 90s. I mean, I remember Johnny Depp coming to see the show.
Right.
You know, it was a rad time.
That's very cool. What do you think of when you think of the Viper Room?
I think of my friend Danny Bland writing some sort of tribute to River Phoenix outside on the sidewalk, on the wall close to the sidewalk.
Wow.
And it was way too soon for something like that. Like he had just died, I think. And, Danny Bland wrote something wildly inappropriate on the wall. I wish I could remember what it was. But it was there for a couple of years. And it was pretty great to go back there every time and see that. So
still in the wall, yeah.
I also like the curtain.
Yeah, yeah. A good curtain it's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, the curtain! When there's a curtain on a stage and they actually use it,
you feel
such a great thing.
You feel special.
Yeah, you can just go up there and get all your shit set up without everybody eye fucking you the whole time. It's great.
What are your influences? I mean, I know some of. I mean, do you like Steve Earle and stuff like that too? Like, what kind of stuff do you like?
Yeah, I like all that. I like good shit. I mean, I like the 3 holy, I don't know, the holy trilogy, I guess it is for me, of rock and roll would be Motorhead, AC/DC, and the Ramones.
Right.
But, add to that some outlaw country like Steve Earle and Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard and even Dwight Yoakam. And,
yeah, Dwight.
And then add to that like some sort of, indie rock vibe like the Replacements or the Pixies even.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I hear it all.
That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Almost a Celtic thing in there too sometimes, or it's a lot of stuff. I get it. It's a horrible question, but I had to know.
Right, and my typical pat answer to what are your influences, I always just say this: it's the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, yeah.
That's at the end of the day, that's what fuels the songs and makes the music interesting to listen to. Is it's what you're singing about, not necessarily what you're playing. So
yeah,
that's not to be left out of the equation as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it stands the test of time.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
it's the same thing that every good movie is about. I mean, every good movie is about one of the 7 deadly sins at least.
Yeah.
Usually a couple of them paired together. So it's a good frame of reference to use as an influence for just about anything, really.
And anything in life. Wow. I'm getting a lot out of this.
Yeah, I'm giving you a lot.
No, that's great. Cool. Well, is it a long tour, or are we? How many stops you doing on this tour?
Well, we've been on tour since 1992, and we plan on ending the tour sometime in 2040.
Yeah.
So we got a ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a long one. I hear you.
It's been a long tour.
It's definitely been a long nonstop tour. Working here is like a long tour.
Indeed, I bet it is.
I'm in here right now. There's a happy hour thing we do right now, so I thought it would be appropriate to call you from here since I never get to leave.
No, that's perfect. Well, I'm in a place I've been to a million times myself.
Where?
I'm in a club right now that used to be called the Mason Jar in Phoenix.
I know it well.
And now it's called the Rebel Lounge, and they just interviewed us for this little documentary they're trying to put together about the Mason Jar and all the the memories that one would have about such a legendary shithole as this place.
So you're all warmed up.
I've been doing this a while, man.
You're all warmed up. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I like the Mason Jar. It was a cool spot. That's awesome. Well, what else?
Yeah, it was cool, and it's even cooler now. They've done some updates and upgraded it a bit. It's nicer than it used to be. It's definitely not the dirty shithole it once was, but it's still the Mason Jar.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You gotta keep that around.
Right. I think I played here for the very first time in 1986. 5 or 6.
Wow.
And now I'm still playing here. I mean, things really haven't gone very well for my career arc.
We're all doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 30 years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's awesome. No, you're certain songs, you get it. It's a beautiful thing what you're doing. You get to live the life,
Right. I'm grateful for it every day, for sure. Even though it hasn't improved much, I'm still grateful for it.
All right. Well, we're really forward to having you here on Friday, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Right on. Thanks, Tommy. We'll see you soon, man.
All right. See you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.